Hey everybody, how you doing? My name is Paul Turner and I trade Forex. I'm here in my little spare room that I've tried to make really cool with movie posters and stuff, as you can see, but really it's just a spare room. And I'm honoured today to talk to Adrian Langdale, who's part of our trading group. So there's over 500 of us. We're all in a nice little trading group. We're all helping each other trade Forex. And Adrian came in, I think it was roughly 9-10 weeks ago, and he's done some wonderful stuff. So without further ado, thank you for doing this, Adrian. I really appreciate it.
No worries.
So why don't we get straight into it in terms of why are we interviewing you? If you want to tell your story, like you told us this morning, I think everyone's going to be really interested, and then we're going to find out how you did it, because there's going to be a lot of people going to want to copy this. So listen up, guys.
Okay. Well, actually, I haven't told everybody the full story because it's been too long, but I might as well tell you on here.
Tell it.
So, not that it's going to take half an hour or anything, but I used to live in Bristol almost 4 years ago, and I was working for a company called Airbus, who's a big plane manufacturer. Did about 8 or 9 years there with various things from facilities management. I was a project manager, basically. Ended up falling into project management, and for the last 4 years I was IT project management. I had really good hours, really good wage. In fact, I didn't do a lot. It was pretty much spreadsheets and
good job.
Yeah, but two things happened. One, I got really bored. The last 6 months I was what they call inter-contract, because I was working for a subsidiary. So I was actually just going into work and being on the internet, and didn't really have a project to do. So I started looking around for other things and whatever. But the main thing was for me was the lifestyle. Was the hours were okay. They were 35 hours a week, so not bad. But just the weather. I mean, my wife's from Bulgaria originally. Although she lived in England for 13 years, but we always used to holiday on islands. So we did Madeira a lot, the Balearics, done all the Balearics, pretty much most of the Canaries. And every time we've gone abroad, we've always looked at property and could we live here? And, you know, because I've known from an early age that I didn't want to stay in the UK forever.
Right.
We came out 2016, shortly after the referendum, funnily enough. And obviously, my wife's European, her mother lives in Italy, her father lives in Bulgaria, so we're quite a European family. So once that, and funnily enough, the company I was working for, Airbus, is a European company backed by the French government. And I had colleagues that voted to leave. So I was like, I don't understand. I don't understand. So I decided I want to be in Europe. So we came out. The plan was we went to Gran Canaria, because the year before we went on holiday on Christmas, and we said we bumped into a couple who said we're renting and it's €600 a month, and we're here for 3 months, and we were like, we can do that. So we planned that for the end of 2016, and we came out to Gran Canaria in November. Didn't know it was the Gay Pride Festival. And everything was booked up. Apparently, it's the biggest, apart from Rio. It's the biggest. Okay. So everything was booked up or stupidly expensive. So we ended up getting a ferry across to Tenerife and doing our due diligence and looking at living over here in Tenerife. I got offered a job selling timeshare, not the best thing, but we had a timeshare in Madeira. That's why we used to go there a lot. So I thought I can show people around, and you know. This is a pool and all that sort of stuff, but there's a bit more to it than that.
Yeah, I was going to say.
There's a lot of pressure. I went into it a bit naively. There's a lot of pressure selling, and I didn't like it. People are coming on holiday and you're asking them for 17, 18, 20 grand. So it didn't sit right in my heart. So from there, I basically went back online, and I did a little bit of crypto, not much. But mostly I used my skill set. So I've been building websites since the internet began. So I've done HTML and all the coding and all that sort of stuff.
So you'd have thought, wouldn't you, that you've got kind of a job, not a job, it's something like a trade that you've learned that you can do all the time. So you just be sensible, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I just went freelance basically, and because I'd made quite a lot of friends through the selling thing on the island, because it's quite a small community of expats and stuff. So people go, "Do you know anybody who can build a website?" My name just gets brought up all the time, so, which is nice. Yeah. I never really had to advertise or anything like that. But it was all for local businesses, so estate agencies, excursion shops, this, that, and the other. A whole portfolio of clients. But what happened was it was taking off quite well. The end of last year was a bit quiet, but then January, February, I'd got clients backed up. I didn't have enough time to even, take on any more clients. But then we went to Madrid at the mid-February this year. Went to Madrid, came back a week later. we were in lockdown, so we were very lucky not to be stuck over there with the way that they had everything. But what happened was all my clients started calling me and saying, hang fire, we don't know what's going to happen. Since then, all of those, well, 3 of those clients that I had ready, their businesses have folded or not opened again. So I was sat here going, all right, what am I going to do?
So no fault of your own. I mean, you had a skill. No fault of your own, is it? Business is drying up.
Just the economy, mate. And, Tenerife is a tourist island. And the south of the island is still like a ghost town at the moment. There's no work there. There's loads of businesses are coming up for sale and everything. So I decided about April to look back at Forex.
So you'd looked at Forex before in the past?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Back in 2008, 2009, probably before most people at home working from home had even heard of it. There was a big surge in affiliate marketing, particularly from the likes of ClickBank and JVZoo and things like that. They were selling EAs or expert advisors or robots.
Robot traders, basically, guys.
So I have possibly bought and tested and refunded over 100 of those.
So, but let's just talk about those for a minute then. So a common thing that we see, guys, is people go, I don't want to learn to trade. I'll let a computer do it for me because the computer is going to be better than me because, I'm rubbish. So you've had about 100 of them. Yep. So they work brilliantly then, right?
Short term, some of them worked very well, but long term, there's nothing that I've come across. And I looked at one back in April, May, actually blew an account back in April and May as I was getting back into Forex. And I've never seen one work long term for any significant gains. That's just my experience. I'm not saying that they aren't out there, but you can pay a fortune for them. And there's nothing like
I actually, guys, I spoke to one of the owners of one of the Forex brokers. I won't say it there. I won't say which one, doesn't matter. And I asked him about them outright because they used to have one and they pulled it. They stopped doing it. So I had a really good conversation with him about it. And his didn't work either, right? And that's why they pulled it. He's actually a stand-up guy, and he actually refunded everybody's money when it had lost. So I was asking him about it, and he said, we thought we had it, but something unusual happened in the market. Now, guys, Brexit, COVID, Korea firing missiles over Japan. I remember the markets went crazy, and I know somebody that left our group to go and use one of these robot traders, and that blew his account overnight like that, and everybody else's. And he said they do exist, like Adrian's just said. I'm sure they're out there. They do exist, guys. The problem is it doesn't give anybody the returns that get them excited. It will give them like 2-3% a year. Now, we're not allowed to share cash and percentage increases in what we do, but I mean, me and Adrian laugh at 3% a year. So, but more like
I made it this morning.
Exactly. I mean, I personally go for that a day. There's not many days I don't do it. You know, usually one trade as well. So you know, we can't show you cash and percentage increases, but honestly, guys, trust us. Like, you'll see. You can have a trial. You can take a free trial. We'll talk about it later, so you can see for yourselves. So anyway, so you tried like a lot of those, and
yeah, nothing happened. And that was the last time really. In April, May, I looked at EAs and stuff like that, and I've got a small group of entrepreneurs that I've worked with in the past with different things here and there. Obviously, some have worked a little bit, some haven't. Mostly they've lost. You know, trying to promote this, that, and the other. But we've all shared, like 3 or 4 of us have all shared a common interest in trading. So what happened was I was speaking to Alan Kavanagh. He had been looking at the Ninja Group for a while and speaking to yourself and whatever. And I believe he was previously in the company that provides all the tools.
yeah.
And so he put me in the Ninja Lite group, basically. I said, go on then, let me have a look, see what they're doing, and I'll follow along. So I went through all the units in the Ninja Lite group. I then applied for the Ninjacator Lite. I didn't join immediately. I went and actually looked for different harmonic scanners and stuff because I knew they were out there because of my previous experience back in 2008, 2009. Harmonic scans was one of the tools that I actually looked at. Found a couple. You can put them on MT4 and whatever. 2 things.
Slow your computer down, don't they?
The first thing, yeah, is you can't do anything on MT4 because it's constantly scanning. The one I found was a dashboard. It constantly scanned all the pairs. So if you wanted to switch between time frames, you would click the button and you might as well go and make a cup of tea because it just slows your computer right down. And even if you've got a really good computer, it cannot handle that sort of information coming in. And secondly, it didn't provide the same scans that I saw that you guys were working off. So I was seeing, at the time, I was seeing Alan get results and posting pips and whatever. And I'm like, you've just started this and you're getting these results. So we had a few Zoom calls and whatever. And anyway, in the end, I bit the bullet.
There's something built into us, guys, I think, where it's like, well, they're doing that, but I'm sure I could probably find a cheaper, better way. And I don't know why. I don't know why it's sort of part of the human condition. And I used to be like it a lot, but now, do you know what? You know, I worked with a guy once. I had to pay for it, but I paid a lot of money for a guy who'd made like over 50 million online and stuff like that. And I was saying to him, "Oh, could I do it like this? Could I do it like that?" And he just says, "Why do you always want to keep trying to do what isn't proven? Why don't you?" He said one of the things that he had to get over is if there's something that works and you want a result, why don't you go to somebody that's getting a result that you want and just do that, at least to start with, to get the results. And I'm like, yeah, he's right. And you know, guys, we have something that works, as you sort of discovering on this call. So anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I thought that was just worth saying because, you know, I did it as well. It's like,
I think, like you say, it's human nature. So basically, after following along for a few weeks and seeing Alan getting good results, and also other people, not just Alan, you know, within the Ninja Lite group, and I was fortunate to be in the Discord group at the same time. Shush. But you know, I was seeing everything in there, and yeah, about 10 weeks ago, I think it is now, I joined to get the harmonic scanner and the indicator that's specific to the Ninja Group, and just followed along. So I basically attended all the live calls that you do, which is great. Sort of everyday live calls, different traders, different trainers, all teaching the same system. And I went onto a demo account, did very, very well with it. I was at the start of November, I actually had a plan to top up my live trading account, but because I'd done so well on the demo account, I decided, you know what, if I can build it up from here, I know I'm onto something. So basically, November, I shared with obviously yourself and a couple of the other trainers my results, and I'm now looking at it keeping me here in Tenerife. So
you're on the verge of having to come back to the UK.
I was, yeah.
And this is why we do it, guys, because to be honest with you, nobody wants to trade Forex. Nobody wants to look at charts and try and analyze this and analyze that. So, you know, but at the end of the day, people want to stay in Tenerife. People want to be able to quit their job. People want to be able to retire their spouse like I did. People want to be able to give their kids everything they want. You know, there's always a reason why. Nobody really goes, it's like they say, don't they? Nobody really wants to buy a drill. What they want is a hole. So they get a drill to make the hole. And Forex is the same. So talking about looking at charts and stuff all day, Adrian, how long do you spend looking at charts all day to get your results?
It varies. Obviously, when I was learning, I was spending most of the day in front of the computer, but that's normal for me anyway. I've always been, because I was building websites.
That's learning, just like if you were learning a new job or something. So, you know, So
did a lot of studying, did a lot of, obviously on the demo account and trading stuff. But for example, last week, I was busy all week in the mornings and couldn't get on the live calls and this, that, and the other. And I was literally, I didn't trade Thursday or Friday. Monday was about 3 or 4 hours maybe. And Tuesday, Wednesday was literally a few minutes here and there. I was in a trade. All right, I've got to take the dog. I tend to watch my trades, so I don't tend to leave.
Yeah.
I know you can leave the exit manager running and things like that. But like this morning, I was in a trade. I know I've got a call coming up with yourself. I was like, right, take that profit. Thank you very much. Bag it. And I know I can walk away from the computer and I know that my account's safe. That's kind of how I operate. So it does vary. Initially, obviously, you're going to have to take some time. But once you get into it, it can be as long as you want. It can be an hour, 2 hours, you know.
Well, if I just quickly share my screen, guys, I'll show two things. But first of all, this is a trade that is running now while I'm interviewing Adrian. I've taken the cash off. Okay, this is a demo account because this is something we're doing where we're going to help people get a funded account, right? So you can use other people's money to trade. You don't even need your own money to trade. This is something that we're working on now. So there are certain rules to be able to pass that. So I've got a demo account while I'm working on that. Okay. But as you can see, I am plus 7 pips on GBP USD. A pip, what a pip is worth is dependent on your account size, but we teach you that. But basically, round about as little as 10 cents up to potentially thousands, right? It could be worth, each pip could be worth a couple of grand or more, you know, but it depends on your account size. Now, this is already locked in profit at 10 pips for me. 10 pips is my initial target. It's already locked in profit. I cannot lose. And all of that happened. You might see, if you play this back, you can see me keep looking over there, over to the side. That's because this is running, but it locked in profit for me without me having to press a button. It was all done while I've been interviewing Adrian. I cannot lose on this trade now. And if it goes up more, great. But if not, you know what? I've already done my daily target, okay, while I was doing something else. So that's that. And while we're about it, let me just show the harmonic scanner. So this is a free service called Trading View. And I'll show you, we mentioned an indicator. Can you see here, look, this GBP USD, the Ninjacator gave me this sign here, Ninja up. That told me when to get in, right? And that's when I got in, and that's when I've made my profit thanks to this tool. The harmonic scanner that Adrian mentioned, if the D's below, the price should grow, so the price should go up. If the D's at the top, the price should drop. So it tells us which direction price should go. Now, we don't actually take a lot of notice of these, but it gives us a stop loss, which is where we will get out of the trade if it goes the wrong way. If it goes against us, it gives us an entry point. In this case, there's 2 because it's something called a shark, and it gives us take profits. But is it fair to say, Adrian, we have something better than that? Which
100%.
Yeah, it's not right to go into it in this call. If you're going to have to get back to the person who shared this video with you. But that's the harmonic scanner. You can see it gives you lots and lots of calls. This one here, D below, price should grow. Indeed, look, the price is going up. Okay, blue means the price is going up. So this tool, see D at the bottom, D below, price should grow, it's gone up. Some people, and we're not into hype. This one, it's a good example. Look, this one's gone the wrong way, but we wouldn't be in that trade because of what we, with an indicator, we won't be in that one. This one was a doozy. D's at the top, the price should drop. Look at that. Now, is it, well, I don't want to put words in Adrian's mouth, but is that easy, what we teach?
Honestly, I've never had these kind of results, okay, in Forex, and I've done maybe 2-3 years trying back in the day, and then another few months here, even, you know, just scalping using moving averages and stuff like that. I've never seen these results. And I'm not blowing smoke up anybody's bum or anything like that. It's just, it works. What you've got is you've simplified something. You've taken, you know, because I know that you guys have been 4 years or whatever.
4 years we've been doing it. And boy, do I wish we had this 4 years ago. but it basically, what we try and do, guys, as a group, it's not about me, it's not about Adrian, it's not about Alan, it's not about David or Sarah or Rob or anybody right in the group. We are all trying to help each other be really successful. And part of that is we know when people come in and they're new, it looks like a heart rate monitor, doesn't it? It looks, you know, really confusing, and you hear like risk, because obviously you can lose a trade. And I promise you now, guys, you will lose trades. That's part of it. It's like a casino. Yeah, the casino owners know that some people are going to win, right? That's the way it is. But the odds are stacked in their favor. And over the last 4 years, we've simplified. So we've got a point now where the scanner tells us which way the price should go. We have a ninja little secret that tells us how far the price should go. And then obviously we've got an indicator tool that Kevin Orm, one of our members, went, oh, I see what you're doing there with that strategy. I can program that for you. And he did, and he's made it exclusively just for us. So we know which way the price should go, how far it should go, and when to get in. And that's as simple as I don't see what we can do. That can, what could we do?
Just add one point to that is half of the battle I found when trading Forex is what pair do I look at?
Yeah.
So the harmonic scanner is just like right, go and have a look at that. You don't have to trade it, but it's going, today, this could be worth looking at.
Yeah.
And then I apply the ninja trading strategy to it, you know, because there's 27 or whatever major pairs, or major and minors or whatever. Yeah. How do you know when they're stalling out, where the trend's going? That, you know, what you've done with the system is make it easy to go, right, I'm sitting down, I've got a bit of time, what should I look at? Oh, let me go and have a look at this. That and the alerts, that really changed, because when I was on the very free account for TradingView with the one alert, I was like, it worked. But once I upgrade and get 10 alerts, that's when my trading just went through the roof.
I think there is a misconception that you have to be in front of charts all day. And if I'm honest, 2 years ago, maybe a little bit before, we were trading something called BYOB, and it was good, but we'd been waiting for a certain setup, and we started doing the live trading sessions. And what would happen is we'd say, right, so this pair looks good. Can whoever sees the setup, can you let us all know? And that was a benefit of being part of the group. It would be whoever saw it would let everybody else know. Okay, and then you'd all have to try and get in. Now we've made it that you don't have to do that. You just get an alert. And I know people that trade while they're at work full time, just because they get an alert and they've already done the analysis or taken our analysis, which is fine because we do it as a group. So we've made it as easy as we can. You've heard Ninja Lite group. That's a free trial group. You can come, you can look, you can see some results, you can see what we do. There's a little training course in there, so you can actually go through it before you hand over any money. On that front, how much do we charge for the Ninja group?
This is what I was actually just going to come on to this point, and you know, I've made posts in our main group and and whatever, the value that you guys bring with no extra charge.
It's all free.
Is no extra charge. And actually, I've already been asked, how much do I charge for a one-to-one? So it's kind of, and back in the day, I remember people charging $1,000 an hour to go on a call like this with yourself and go through what they're doing and apply a strategy. $1,000 an hour. The value that you guys bring, all the live traders, trainers, even people that are just coming in, getting success and going, oh, well, I just added this thought process. It's incredible. Honestly, it's unbelievable the amount of value. Even if it wasn't, you weren't using the tools, the value for the membership is, I can't put a value on it, mate. You guys bring so much knowledge and experience for free to the rest of the group. It's really appreciated.
Right, that's cool. And the thing is, there's no competition, you see. That's why I like Forex. There's zero competition. It's the most level playing field there is, because that trade, GBP USD, as it closed me out, and there's an alert for another potential trade. So yeah, so that's closed me out. So I made, I did my daily target on that one. Thank you. But if 1,000 other people took the same trade, it wouldn't affect the outcome for me. Whereas I've done things in the past where it's been about selling and recruiting people. And obviously, if I recruit Adrian and then he goes off and he has to recruit people, now he's my competition. Right? With Forex, there's no competition. It doesn't matter. And that's why I'm very lucky in the Ninja group. So many people are happy to share, what they're doing, because it doesn't affect them. And it's hard to engineer that, but it's a really good group of people. And we don't charge for what we do. The only cost is you need access. If you want to do what we do, you need the tools, right? So how it works is, guys, this is even better. Me and Adrian were talking about this before. So to get your hands on the tools, there is a cost. We can't help that. And if you want to know how much, you can get back to the person who shared this with you, because by the time you've seen it, prices change, whatever. But we only want you to get the basic package, right? We want you to get the basic package. It works out, I don't know, it's like $7 a day or something like that, I'll be honest with you. But to do what we do, you've got to have what we have. Now, if you get that package, but you do happen to refer to people, like Adrian's referring people, not based on the fact he wants to refer them to get lots of people in, okay? But as soon as people see you start making a profit, they ask you for one anyway. And number two, if you care about anybody else, once you've come in, and most people come in and they get some results first, which is fine, then like, who do you know who could do with making some extra money, where you don't have to sell, you don't have to recruit anybody, you can just do it from your phone even, right? Without speaking to a soul, right? Taking these signals. So what the company that we use, what they do is, it's pretty fair. If you refer to paying customers, they give you it for free. So believe it or not, you could actually get your hands on this for nothing. You've got to pay the first month, can't help that. Everything we do is for free. And if you do find a couple of people, bearing in mind they've got over 300,000 customers, so it is in demand. Could you imagine getting your hands on the tools for zero, getting all our help for zero, being part of the group for zero, getting our special Ninjacator for zero? And I've seen similar ones literally sell for like $2,000. So you can get it all for nothing. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I don't know how we could make it better. So yeah, so that's pretty cool, isn't it, Adrian?
Yeah, and that kind of what happened to me was I just shared my results and then people asked to join. I have not actively promoted the company at all. It literally just shared my results on my demo and on my live. People have asked me, I've done one-to-ones. They've said, how are you doing it? What are you doing? And I literally just following what the Ninja team are teaching. Started with the basic Ninja trading strategy, and then from there, obviously, Kevin's made some adjustments to the indicator, so I started using a few bits of those as well. But one point I would mention is, because before the lockdown, as I said, before the call, I was talking to Paul. We went to Madrid in February. One thing I saw there was all these e-scooters. These little, you can get an app and you can get on an e-scooter and it costs you 20 cents or something for a minute. And you can go across the city in 5 minutes on an e-scooter. We didn't have anything like that here. We don't still have anything like that here in Tenerife. So we were looking at starting a business. It was going to cost us about between 5,000 and 10,000 with the scooters and setup costs and all that
insurance
sort of stuff.
and
Yeah, I mean, luckily, touch wood, we didn't, because we'd be in a big hole right now. But I looked at this like this: if I want to stay in Tenerife, I've got to do something, even if it's to be a window cleaner, right? I've got to buy a bucket, I've got to buy a sponge, I've got to have a vehicle. Right? I do not, and I've been online, on and offline for a long time now. I have not seen anything with the low entry point that has the potential of such high returns just with the trading. I'm not even on about building the business, just with the trading.
If you're watching this on the blog, right? If you look at the menu at the top, there's a section like compounding with Forex. Go and look at that, right? And in 2021, we're going to be looking more at offering these funded accounts. Right, so look, we've been on a while. I think you get the idea, guys. There's a trial group if you want to take it. I guess probably a couple of questions to close out on real quick. One, we haven't talked about the company. What do they offer? What's your thoughts on the company and the education and tools?
I'll be honest with you, mate. I've only used the tools. I've not even looked at the education, followed any of the other traders, the modules. I think I did the introduction module, and then I was like, now this isn't what I want to focus on. I just want to focus on the workbook that you guys provide. But obviously, I know that the company's been around since what, 2012, 13, something like that?
6 years old, seven. I think seventh. This is its 7th year, so it's been around 7 years. But you're going to have loads of fun. Adrian's doing it exactly the right way, guys. When you come in, right, a lot of people, there's so many different ways you can trade Forex. And a lot of people come in and they get overwhelmed. What Adrian's done is absolutely right. He's just focused on what we teach. Why? Because we've been doing it 4 years. And it's my aim isn't to be, Adrian will tell you, I'm sure, I'm not a great trader, right? But I can follow simple steps to win trades. There are people in the group that are way better than me, right? Okay. And if you want to be a fantastic Wall Street trader, you can do that with what you've got on offer. And Adrian, you'll have so much fun going looking at some of the guys on there. But you're coming from a point of view where you're profitable. And I often sit down, and go, I'm going to learn this. And I'll win a trade like I've won today, but like hardly any effort. And I'm like, do I really want to learn it? So it kind of stops me progressing, but I don't need to, because I'm doing everything I want to do and I'm compounding my account. You need to check out the compounding video, guys. I might even link to it under here. So there's that. So if people want to come in and emulate your success and Alan's success, because now Alan is absolutely crushing it as well because he keeps posting his results, what tips would you give them?
Funnily enough, you mentioning compounding. There was obviously, apart from the tools and the strategy and whatever, there was 2 things that I got from the group. One was the trading plan for a certain percentage a week with a withdrawal. Okay. And the other one was using that to focus on pips. So not dollar value, nothing, right? So I used that spreadsheet for 20 pips per day, trading over 5 days. Yeah. The way that sheet's set up, I won't go into too much depth, but it's set up that you start with X, and at the end of the week, you have increased by X. Yeah. And you withdraw a percentage of that. Then the next week, you compound. Yeah. The way I've been using it is I compound every day or intraday. So if I've already grown if I capture my 20 pips this morning and then I come back for an afternoon session, I'm not at the same lot size. I compound from what I've made in the morning. So that's how I've been able to get the percentages I've been getting, is because I'm not waiting till the end of the week to start and increase my lot size. I'm doing it on a growth by growth by growth by growth.
That's what I do. Exactly the same. Every trade, I look at what I start with for that trade, and then I work out what each pip is going to be worth. Now, I think we should clarify that for people, what Adrian said. He focuses on pips, so do I. And the reason for that is what I mentioned earlier when I shared my screen there. A pip could be worth as little as about 10 cents to being worth thousands. So Adrian, what difference is there in skill right, to make 20,000 in a day, which we don't do. I'm not trying to throw you heavy numbers, but what difference in skill is there to make $20,000 a day, $1,000 a pip, as to making $2 a day at 10 cents a pip? What difference in skill is there?
The same.
It's exactly the same, guys. And that's why we focus on pips. Because as your account grows, so does what each pip is worth. And if you can just get good at getting 10 pips a day, that's all you need. Yeah, 10, well, actually, you only need 2, right? You only need 2 pips a day. I've seen it worked out on 2 pips a day. But there's volatility with that. And there's reasons why some people go for 10, some people go for 20. There are people out there and they go for hundreds of pips a day. I just don't understand why, because you don't need to. It's obviously easier to get 20 than it is to get 200, you know. So that's something as well that we brought to the group. So, Adrian, what would you say to somebody who's looking at this then? And thinking, oh, shouldn't, you know, I'm probably no good at trading. I don't want to look at, well, what would you say to them? Close it out. You've got the last word.
Honestly, I would just say start. Even if you start in the light group and you get involved and you start seeing, you know, the posts and learning through the units and everything, you can see if it's for you from that, just from the light group. Okay. If you're on the fence, I would just say get off of it and do it, because for what it costs, even if you never referred anybody and you did it for 6 months, what you would lose is very minimal. You couldn't even set up a business here in Tenerife for what it would cost you for 6 months membership. It costs that just to set up the company. So I would just say, try it, get back to the person who shared this with you, and just follow along. There are no questions in this group that you can't get answered by either Paul or, you know, Kevin or Rob or any of the other traders. There's 100%. You know, I haven't known you very long, Paul. Obviously, maybe what, 3-4 weeks since we've been really chatting.
Yeah.
And you know, I've messaged Paul on a number of occasions. Can you just clarify this? Can you tell me this? You know, most of it's covered on the live calls and everything, but when you've got access to people that have been trading for 4 years and not just one, you know, I also really like how Rob trades and teaches. That's kind of matches my personality. So
I'm planning on interviewing Rob, because Rob does what we do, but he has a slight twist on it, and he basically trades one currency pair. So it's like he gets to know it inside out. So watch out for that, Adrian. So it'll be a good one. You'll like that. Yeah.
So no, I'll just say try it. You've not, honestly, there's nothing really to lose, and especially now with the current climate back in the UK, which is another reason I don't want to go back. You know, you can sit at home. I can sit at home. I'm in complete control of my own income, right? I can do an hour. I can do no hours. Obviously, if I don't do any hours, I don't make any money, right? But like last week, I was really busy. I didn't trade Thursday or Friday, but I'd already made my goal for the week. And have a plan. I think that's key. You've got to have a plan, even if it's, I don't know, 5% a week or 5% a month, or doesn't matter what the percentage is. Just have a goal and a plan and stick to it.
Well, that's fantastic. So listen, Adrian is somebody who's come in and he's done it. So hats off to you, Adrian. I'm so glad you get to stay where you want to stay. Like I say, we don't do it to teach people Forex. We do it so people get a result like that. So I jumped on it. It has been about a week in the making though, hasn't it? It's just like I've been busy, Adrian's been busy, but hey, we got it done today. But so thank you for taking the time to do this, Adrian. Now, listen, somebody has probably referred you to this. You can get back to them to get into the free group. There'll no doubt be a button around this video somewhere if you want to go and check out more. If you're watching on the blog, like I say, there's actually tabs at the top. You can go and look through those. Come and check us out, see if it's for you or not. It doesn't really affect us whether you want to do it or not. All right, so you're not going to get pressured into it. It's just we're trying to spread the word. And like I said, there's good stuff happening in 2021. So at least check us out. Maybe we'll see you on the inside. But for now, thanks a lot, Adrian.
Cheers, Paul. Thanks, mate.